Welcome, audience, to another thrilling rendition of our show, We're Not Really Strangers. I'm your host, Amy Snark. I'm brought to you today by not only Reno Improv, but the improvisers at Mono Lake. That's right, I'm reporting from an Airbnb in the middle of the lake. Goodness, America, we have had a lot happen to us the last 3 weeks. There's a lot going on. We are right in the middle of a COVID crisis, but we have a new president elect. So I hope everyone is feeling a little bit healthier as we speak. Okay, so I have three amazing guests for you all tonight. You all know how this show goes. We're not really strangers. I find strangers on the internet that I admire and love and ask them to be on the show. At the end, we find out if we're actually strangers or if we're really all connected. Okay, so my first guest is a returning guest. You know her very well. She loves the ocean. She's an aqua Zumba instructor that is obsessed with true crime. Let me welcome to the stage Marla Rotan.
Hey, can you see me okay, Amy? Hey.
Oh my gosh, Marla, you look great.
There. Sorry, thank you. Just got out of class. I apologize.
Wow, I can tell because your hair's still wet. Did you just got out of the ocean?
No, so I do at least like 5 to 6 aqua Zumba classes a day. Just got
Wow.
out of my 7 o'clock to meet with you, Amy.
Wow, I appreciate the time. I really valued our conversation last week. And I just kept thinking about the playlist that you have on Spotify.
Oh, hashtag Kids Bop. I just prefer the Kids Bop version,
Mhm.
of those racy pop songs. So I usually that takes up a lot of my Spotify. It's just better.
Wow, wow. And so what do the people in your class think about that? I can't imagine they all have kids.
No, I think they prefer like the edited out curse words of it all. I like to keep it
Mhm,
clean. I mean,
mhm.
that Taylor Swift, am I right? She gets a little racy, so I do the Kids Bop versions of Taylor Swift, Bruno Mars, and it really jams it out. It gets those hammies going. I think they like it. I don't know. I haven't sent out a survey in a while.
Oh, you should totally send out a survey, and on the note of Taylor Swift, a song that's been playing in my household a lot recently is Bad Blood.
Mm,
That
hashtag bad
music
blood.
video is racy.
It is racy. It is racy. And so is the song. I mean, band-aids don't fix bullet holes. You know what I
No,
mean? And like
no.
she gets it. But like, do we need to have like minimal clothing to like hear about it? Like, I don't think so. Like, I don't think it works.
Yeah, no, it's tough. So tell me about your most recent survey to your Zumba-ites.
Mm, well, my most recent survey, it was pre-COVID when we sent it out. And
Mm,
I just like to see like their headspace, like where you at? Like, are you in a mental space to underwater samba right now? Like I need to
mhm.
know these things.
Oh,
And
it's
I
and
I think they are.
wow, it's Zamba, it's not Zumba.
It's the samba, so there's like the salsa. There's the
Ah,
samba, like very
mm,
dirty dancing, okay? And we do these very technical dances, but it's
mm,
all underwater.
And so I know our audience listened to you last week, kind of explain the technicalities. Could you go into that a little bit further
Oh
of
my
what
God,
that
I would
is?
love to. I would love to. So it is very technical. I
Mm.
mean, you haven't lived until you've underwater salsa to Footloose, okay? These are
Oh,
moves to Kenny Loggins that you've never even dreamed about.
no.
There's the Swiss rabbit that we do a couple times. in a session. Each session is 60 minutes. Okay. Swiss Rabbit comes out a lot. We burn, I mean, it's like 180 to 220 calories. Okay. This is intense. Okay. We got the Irish pencil. God, the Irish pencil. That one really puts you in a position to work it out. And that's what I like to do. I like to work it out.
And can you just explain? I mean, I know what an Irish pencil is. I do them all the time, as you know. But could you explain to our viewers what exactly the Irish pencil is?
I would love to, Amy. So you start in a deep squat. I need you to get that squat as deep as you can. Okay. And then you raise up. It's a left and the right in the squat. And then it ends in a scissor. You're scissoring right after. That's those Irish pencils.
Yes. Yep. So appropriately named.
Yeah.
Wow. So Marla, what's new in your world right now? Tell me about your kind of day to day now that we're all stuck at home.
Day to day. I mean, I'm watching the new Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. Hashtag true crime and chill. Okay. Hashtag true crime and wine. And, you know, there's no Robert Stack. They do have the same music. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to, you know, how many reviews the Marla can give the new Unsolved Mysteries. But I'm hanging in. Like, I am binging it. I am watching 2 or 3 episodes a night.
And you had some crime in your neighborhood recently. Is that right?
Oh, you did the Next Door app. You saw that one, didn't you, Amy?
I did. I downloaded it on my phone after last week. So for our audience who maybe didn't catch the last episode, there's a new app that's very similar to Next Door, but it's got a different name, and you don't have to have permission to see where the other person is. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the best part. It's like, where you at? Where is she? I think that's the whole name. Where you at? Where is she? And you can track, like, you're like, where's my friend? Like, I see her at Zumba. She takes my class. She's there every day. But then when I text her, she doesn't answer. And you're like, where's she at? And there's an app you can download, and it tracks her. It shows her where she is in her car, in her home. And then you're just like, where's my friend at? I just want to make sure she's okay. Yeah, she is. And there's an app for that.
Incredible. Wow. Yeah. Well, you know, Marla, this has been an interesting time for you. And I heard something recently, and you'll have to confirm it, about your recent name change. I'm sorry. Is that too personal? Oh God. Okay.
Okay. I wondered, am I a Marla? Or a Marlene? And I've been grappling with this. I mean, it's going on a decade. And I thought I could track it on the lunar cycle at first. And I said, oh, is this? And that didn't work. And it's almost like every day I have to make a conscious choice. Are you Marla? Are you Marlene? It's like a dual personality that lives inside of me almost.
Oh my God, are you a Gemini?
Amy, only a Capricorn would know that I'm a Gemini. Stop.
I am a Capricorn to the core. Okay. We've gotten off track.
I just get really excited about, like, oh God, like the star signs.
Well, Marlene, I think your light just shines so much in the world. We need more of people like you.
Stop it! But I know. So thank you.
Okay, well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I know you've got the 8:20 class to jet to. So
I
let's wrap things
do.
up with our last
Okay.
"We're Not Really Strangers" question to prove that you are not a stranger. Would you like 1, 2, or 3?
Numero uno,
Okay,
Amy.
we'll pull from this deck of cards. Mmm. Okay. What fast food restaurant do you think I'm most likely to drive through? What's my order?
This is interesting. When I saw you, okay, last week, I thought chalupa, and I don't
Mhm.
know why. I just looked at you and I said chalupa, and
Yep.
I feel like you're like, ooh, you're a chalupa, you're a
Mhm.
cheesy gordita crunch, probably
I
a diet
love
coke. We
I
keep our
love
fitness.
Taco Bell.
Hashtag nachos Bill Grande. Am I right?
And Marla, I to answer that question for you, I also envision you as a chalupa girl.
Hashtag blessed. Thank you, Amy. I feel it in my bones. I mean, I work out for tacos. Hashtag doing it for
Mhm.
tacos. That's what I work
Mhm.
the cows for. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. And that reminds me, before we let you go, where can our listeners find you? Because I know that you do something special on Tuesdays.
I do on Tuesdays. It's called Check Out My Swiss Rabbit.
Mhm.
And that's also my Twitter handle. So
Mhm.
I just show up. Sometimes you got a kiddie pool in your backyard.
Wow.
Sometimes it's the community center. And I show up and I work you out.
Beautiful,
Check
Marla.
out the
Thank you
Swiss
so
Rabbit.
much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Audience, wow. So if you are looking for something fun to do on a Tuesday night, you know where to find her. An underwater Zumba class with those Swiss rabbits. So, audience, this is a pay what you want show for Reno Improv. We are a small nonprofit theater here in Reno, Nevada, which is about 2.5 hours south from the middle of Mono Lake. We would love for you all to come watch our shows every Saturday night at 8 o'clock. This is the last run of our show with the Character Talk Show. We're not really strangers, but we have lots of fun, exciting things. So be sure to check out our website. Okay, our next guest is a doozy, all. Her name, we'll wait until the end for that. She has one name, very similar to Beyonce. She's comes from a small community in rural Arizona where everyone is named after the first thing that their mother sees when they're born. It is a cult. Please welcome to We're Not Really Strangers, Beige. Wow.
Can,
Hi.
can you hear me?
I can hear you, Beige. Wow, thank you. How are you?
I'm gonna have to keep your voice down a little bit
Oh,
because no one knows that I have access to internet. So we're just gonna.
okay.
But
Okay.
it's nice to meet you.
It's wonderful to finally meet you, Beige. I got the sense that you didn't have access to internet when I was reading your blog and how sparsely you posted.
Yes. Well, I really appreciate that you read it. You're one of, I believe we're up to 2 readers now, which is big.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
the thing is I have to only write between 2 and 3 in the morning, and I have to go out into the woods because that's where I can get the best internet access, the only internet access. So,
Wow. And the woods in Arizona are pretty intense, if I recall correctly.
yes, it's a series of small and tall cacti, so it's very difficult to navigate through on barefoot
Mhm.
because we aren't given shoes. It's part of our tradition to go barefoot.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Small and tall cacti.
Hmm.
That's really, kind of why I brought you on the show, Beige, is to hear about your experience in such a rural place.
Oh, Where would you like to start? I With the small cacti, with the large cacti, I don't even know where to begin.
Let's start with the small.
Oh, well, in the winter, they're a little greener than they are in the summer, and when you walk by
Um,
them, they start to glisten. I don't know why. I think it's because I
wow.
scrape up against them, but
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm a
Mhm.
big fan of the small cacti.
Wow, and I know that from reading so much about you. And you had a really interesting start in this community.
I was
Can you
born
share a little bit?
mhm, yeah,
Yeah, can you share
very
about that?
strange. It's a strange experience to be born. I recommend that people only have it happen to them one time. If
Yes,
they're
and
lucky,
you
forget it. Just forget that it happened to you. I
and
didn't forget that it happened to me. I remember every moment.
yeah, and that's so unique that you remember the whole birth experience.
I do.
Oh my goodness. And tell me a little bit more about how that kind of shaped your childhood.
Well, I remember that the moment that I emerged from the womb, that someone looked at my mother and asked, "What's her name?" And she said beige because that was the color of the comforter that she was sleeping and giving birth on. And from that moment, I felt deeply connected to the color beige and the emotion
Mhm.
beige and um,
Mm.
all the ways that you can exist as beige. And I've been
Mhm.
really, since childhood, trying to embody what that feeling, sense, and sight really is.
Mm,
I
mhm.
think I'm getting there.
You know, I have to tell you, Beige, your Beige manifesto, I hung it on my wall in college. It was just posted right by my door. I looked at it every morning before I went to class.
You're the second person to ever say that to me. And
Wow.
it means a lot. I just want to know, can I ask questions back to you? I don't know
Of
how. Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
be completely honest.
Mhm.
Which, okay, we're fine.
Oh.
Be completely honest. What did you think of line 3 when I start describing beige as a more of a darker tan? Did that read emotionally to you?
It spoke to me emotionally. That line 3 of not just tan, but a dark, deep, deep light brown. I almost got it tattooed on me. I mean that's why I left. Oh, feel it out. I know a big part of being beige, the emotion is crying.
People don't recognize how emotional beige can be.
No. Oh
But
my
you do.
god, beige, you're gonna make me cry.
What? But you're not beige.
I
Not at
but
all.
just your energy is just it's coming through.
I've heard that from one other person.
Mm, mhm. Okay. Wow. I didn't expect this to get so emotional so quickly.
Neither did I.
Okay. So let's feel our feelings as you mention in your manifesto.
We should revert back to the last line of that manifesto. I think it's very appropriate right here.
Yes, I do. Did you want to share it?
I would.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether you're light beige or the deepest beige or the beigest of beige can be. You are you, and I am me.
Mm, mhm.
And I think everybody needs to hear that right now.
Yeah, especially in such crazy times.
Yeah, there's no more small cacti.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know that.
But it's okay. It's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. There's plenty of big cacti, and I know everyone else is gonna be able to get over it. But
So how have you coped with this, especially during the time of COVID?
COVID? I don't know. Is that a type of cacti?
Yeah. Oh, beige COVID-19? The the virus that's sweeping the nation? We've all been inside since March.
See, this is why my cult exists. We don't ever have to deal with the. I don't even know what a virus is. Virus?
Oh, like when you don't feel well and you've been around too many people and it gets into your, like you cough and sneeze. Is that no?
Oh, okay. That's like when they pass around the ceremonial tea and everyone passes out for a while. I COVID. Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
It goes away after 4 to 5 hours.
Oh, perfect. Well, I really enjoy that perspective a lot because I think all of America has been inside and we're asked to wear masks everywhere. Is that
I mean,
nothing?
if we're talking about the same thing, you go around, you have the tea, and everyone falls asleep for a little bit. You wake
Mm.
up after 4 to 5 hours, you don't feel very good, but it goes away.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Um, Wonderful. Well, I guess, if you all are just seeing each other, then that's your pod.
Pod. Yeah, that's kind of a nice has a nice ring to it, pod. I'm gonna bring that back.
Oh,
I think
oh,
it feels a little more positive than cult. I like
oh,
that.
wow. I'm so glad
Pod,
that I could
pod,
a
pod.
pod. Yeah. A beige pod.
The beige Arizona pod. The cacti
Oh,
pod. Love it.
wow.
I'm gonna bring it back. We have a board meeting tomorrow. I'm gonna
Oh my goodness.
table.
I heard that your cult was run by a board, but I didn't realize.
Well, we're a nonprofit pod, so
Mm,
we have
mm-hmm.
to keep structured and organized. It's a
Yeah.
whole thing. Everyone
Yeah.
thinks that cults are just chaos, with
Yeah.
really a dictator sort of situation. But no, we have a whole board and we get elected and everything. And
Oh.
I'm up for secretary. So
Wow. Beautiful. Well,
and
you're such a
then our
talent.
cult reads my blog. So he's the only
Mm,
one. He's the only one that knows about it. So he put me up for secretary. So.
wow, that's the other reader.
Hmm.
He's got some great comments on there.
Don't make me blush.
He said you were the most even-keeled portion of his day.
He did, and he spelled keeled wrong, and I just knew that
Mhm.
that meant that he wrote it in earnest.
Wow. Okay. Well, Beige, it was such a pleasure to meet you finally. I really don't think we're strangers, but I do think we should play one round of the game if you're open to it.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay. So with this box, there's three different levels: level 1, level 2, and level 3. What level would you like to ask a question?
2.
2. What has been your earliest recollection of happiness?
My earliest recollection of happiness was sorry, happiness?
Yeah, the feeling of joy or the excitement, like Oh my God, I love you. I'm so excited to see you.
Oh, like how we all greet our cult leader. Yes. So I would say my first recollection of happiness is the first time I met our cult leader, Dave.
Ah, wow. Well, Beige, I really would love for you to, that sounds great. Dave sounds like a good guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
seen anyone be able to chop down a big cactus as fast as he can. It really is a sight for sore eyes.
Goodness. Well, you'll have to, if I'm ever in Arizona, you'll have to show me that.
Well, if you're ever in Arizona, then you're gonna have to wait about 200 miles out, and then I will come to you between 2 and 3 in the morning by bicycle, and then I can bring you back for about 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna have to ask you to leave because no one's allowed on the premises.
That sounds like a dream. Okay, well, Beige, thank you so much. You enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah, you too. It's great being your best friend now.
Love it. I'll send your I'm gonna send our best friend bracelets in the mail. I hope they get to her in the middle of rural Arizona. Whew. Well, that's a reaction to COVID. Not quite knowing what it was, but seems about right. Just a little under the state of our country. So, okay, our third and final guest. It's such a joy to announce her. My next guest is highly excited by Microsoft Excel. She's obsessed. Uncovering new features, they're like a superpower discovered. She clings to memories of Lotus 1, 2, 3, and the power of a backslash is intoxicating. Please welcome my next guest, Helen.
Hi, Amy.
Helen, hi.
So good to see you. It was so inspiring seeing Marla Marlene and Beige. I'm just so filled up with thoughts about what makes them tick.
Wow, they're incredible. It was a really impactful episode here.
It's so interesting to me. What is the passion inside an individual that really makes the burn from the belly? Oh,
Yeah.
the Swiss rabbit. I have no idea what the Swiss rabbit is, but now that I can see the passion in Marla's eyes about the Swiss rabbit, I just cannot wait to dig in and learn more about that. Oh,
Absolutely.
and the small, tall cacti. I mean,
Hmm.
Paige's like whole persona. I mean, how you could live in a cult/pod. Oh, I'm just my breath is taken away by
Mine too.
your other friends.
Mine too, Helen. Thank you for calling them my friends. They are incredible human beings, and their passion for what they love most in life is really why I brought them on the show today. And why I brought you here, Helen.
Well, thank you. You know, I've always felt like it doesn't matter what you really are interested. It's the thing that's important is that you find a thing and you
Mhm.
dive in deep, like deep.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that's what really makes life interesting is the deep dive.
It is. And
It's
that's just really how you get to know people on that more visceral level.
oh, absolutely. And okay, can I make a confession, Amy?
Always. Yeah. I mean,
You know,
I would love that. Please.
I- I'm sort of embarrassed about the thing that really lights me up because I don't usually tell people about it.
Mm,
I'm a little embarrassed about the fact that the
mhm.
thing that totally gets me going is learning about, the stuff that's inside Excel that gives us power. You know, the thing that's amazing is there's stuff inside of Excel that some of it's not even documented. And
Oh,
no, it's not all of it is documented. And sometimes, who has the time to read through all the documentation anyway? I mean, most we
mhm.
do in life when we're in the middle of an Excel spreadsheet is we're doing the mundane, regular old stuff. And most of us waste a lot of time. But the thing that I really, really lights me up is finding out about that stuff. In fact, it's way more interesting to me to learn a new trick, a new fast
Mhm.
way to do something that's far more interesting than actually the billable hours that pay my salary.
Wow.
So sometimes,
Mhm.
I might invest more time in learning a new thing than actually doing the work.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that I have found is there's a person
Mhm.
that's kind of becoming my person. She's a
Oh,
oh, yeah. I'm really developing a serious crush.
wow.
Crushing in a serious
I know that you talked about digging in deep on your most recent podcast, but you didn't share this much. Please
well,
continue.
it's a little voyeuristic. I mean, I feel like so last week I had an issue. Like I had a data set. It was a decent sized data set. It was
Mhm.
probably 350. It was exactly 352 columns wide, and it
Mhm.
was 15,972 rows.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was a decent size, not like giant, but big enough that you
Sure.
could like bite into, right?
Big enough.
Big enough. And that's what I like to do. I like to like have my spreadsheet and bite into it. Like take a bite that's like when you bite into it, like the juice runs down your face and you
Mm.
need to grab your napkin and kind of wipe it off like this.
That's how I
Just
feel about this show.
with reckless abandon.
Mhm.
So, okay, my crush. I want to get back to my crush. I
Mhm.
don't know what her name is, but I have been Googling like Googling my Excel challenge. And I found that
Mm.
she's got long dark hair. She's got the sexiest, sexiest accent. I can't remember her name, but she's got this freaking awesome accent. And
Wow.
and she's so calm. Like at the point in time when I'm Googling for an answer and like my heart rate is up,
You're irate. Yeah.
I'm elevated, like, my emotional state is elevated because I don't know what the fuck to do to solve the problem.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a
Mhm.
data set that I need to resolve, right? And she's so calming, and I was thinking about
Mm.
when I was listening to Marla Marlene and Beige, I was thinking about that moment that I was listening to my Excel guru and, like, that heightened state, and I was just thinking, "I wanna give that to Beige and Marlene Marla." Like, there's that
Wow.
moment of, you know, it's almost desperation, and
Mhm.
then there's a moment of finding somebody that has an answer for you. I always put my, YouTube on 1.75 because I just wanna get there fast. I wanna get to the answer fast.
Absolutely.
You get to the answer fast, and as I was listening to Beige and Marla Marlene, I wondered how they would feel about that. Like, I wanted to reach out to them and say, "Have you thought about going to YouTube, looking for an answer, and putting it on 1.75 so you could get to resolution faster?"
Mm.
I was feeling a little kinship, some, you know, I was feeling a longing for connecting with them and hoping that I could help.
Wow. Well, Helen, God, there's so much to unpack. We will have that opportunity at the end of the show.
Oh
It's
my God,
something
oh my God.
I know. It's something new that I'm trying on We're Not Really Strangers. And,
Oh.
I have had this amazing, beautiful opportunity. You speak to how much joy you get from your big enough data sheets. I get that joy from connecting with strangers. And so I think the opportunity for all of us to connect is just going to be lovely.
So Amy, that's so like that connection is so great. And when we help each other solve problems, that's the connection.
Mhm.
That's the connection. Like I look at my coworkers, s- I there's this sort of embarrassing thing I do. Like I'll have an Excel issue and I'll go to YouTube and find my guru. I really need to figure out what the hell her name is. I'm so stuck on her accent that it's
It's
all audio for me. It's not the name, it's not the
wow.
labeling. It's the sound of her voice calming me down, resolving my problem. So I find a solution to a problem and I've got one go-to colleague. So I never am sure if everybody else knows the way to solve the problem and it's just
Mhm.
me that I'm an idiot, or if really it's a genius move that's like an unbelievable, fantastic discovery. I'm pretty sure that what happened this week was an unbelievable, fantastic discovery.
Yeah.
Amy, it was an undocumented feature that she told me
Wow.
about this week. It was
Sure.
just I mean, sweat was pouring like, oh my god,
Wow.
I was sweating, and it was taking me back to the days, back to Lotus 1, 2, 3. Back in the '80s when there
Yeah.
was like, oh my god, when 1, 2, 3 Lotus 1, 2, 3 was an unbelievable software tool that we used back on those when we would have a black screen with a flashing green cursor. I don't know if you're old enough, Amy, to remember that was what like you would do a forward slash and the menu would pop up and it just felt like the surge of energy that would surge through your body at
Mhm.
that point when you realized you
Mhm.
were accessing the power of the Lotus 1, 2, 3 menu.
My mother loved Lotus 1, 2, 3, and it was
Oh,
always on in the background.
oh
And
my god.
that's why I found you, Helen, was because I connect so deeply with that.
So when I was working through this undocumented Excel issue,
Mm,
it
mhm.
totally threw me back to the Lotus days. I
Wow.
was in tears. So I had to go to my colleague that is my go-to guy that I check in and
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So like I learned this one thing, like I don't know if you know about alt semicolon. Do you know?
I no, I
No.
don't.
Oh,
Alt semicolon?
well, let me tell so this is a little trick that I want you to write down and put in your memory pocket because someday you might need alt semicolon. It's very,
Mhm.
very handy because what it does is it it takes you to only the visible cells. So
Oh,
let me paint you a scenario. Let's say you've got a
yeah.
pretty big data set and you have
Big
gone
enough.
a big enough data set, and you've hidden a lot of the columns and a
Yeah.
lot of rows. Like you've narrowed it down to the data that you need and you want and you need to work with. It's like the juicy stuff. It's the
Mhm.
stuff that is, you know, juicy. It's
Yeah.
spilling off your shirt when you bite into, right?
I hope my
Regret.
data scientist is watching right now.
Oh my God. Well, so when you have hidden the cells that you don't want, and now you want to copy just the ones that are
Mhm.
visible right now, the juicy cells, you
Mhm.
just do a quick alt semi. It just takes the visibles. Amy,
Wow.
would you write
I
that down, put it in
I
your pants?
did. I
I want
did.
alt semi. Thank
Alt
you,
semi.
because I want someday for you to be able to use the power. Oh, thank you. I want someday for you to use alt semi and feel that surge of power. It's great.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
really nice. So
Listeners and Helen, this has just been such an emotional episode of We're Not Really Strangers.
no, Amy, you and I are not strangers.
No,
And
we're
Marla,
not.
Marlene, and Beige, I really hope that we can all find that soul
Yeah.
bond, the heart bond, the bond
Wow.
of people that can share the secrets of, if for me it's Excel, but for them it's something else.
Yeah. Helen, I don't normally do this, but what I would love to do, instead of just asking you a question, is bringing on Marla and
Oh.
bringing on Beige and asking a question together so you
that
can
would-
hear each other's responses. Oh,
Thank you.
amazing. Marla, thank you so much for coming out of your class. I know you had an 820.
I just want to
I did.
touch you both.
I have a question about formulas and the equal sign. So this is like kind of exciting. Yeah.
Okay. That's wow. I think, Marla, let's just kick it off. What's your question?
So is it true that Excel will only count my formula if I have an equal sign in front of it? I'm trying to get paid for my classes and it's not working out. Helen, this one's directed at you.
Marla, embrace equality.
Mhm.
Embrace the equal sign, equality, equivalence,
Equal sign.
equity in the world. Then it'll
Mhm.
be easy to remember. You just throw that little equal sign on at the beginning of the cell and you're ready to go.
Right at the
It's so
beginning of the
tiny.
cell.
It's
Mhm.
so powerful. And if
Yeah,
you
'cause mhm.
like think about what you're giving to your students, Marla,
Mhm.
it's equanimity in the universe with your students.
God,
Just put that
that's so
equanimity in
great.
that little sign right in front of the cell.
It's just hashtag equality because I'm like, formula, count if. And then I'm like, where's my, but then I lose it and I got to go back to cell C. And like, oh, I didn't get paid for a couple months because, like Marla doesn't know Excel, but like Helen does. Hashtag thank you.
You
Hashtag
just
blessed.
call me anytime.
Thank you.
I'm fascinated by this universe of Excel and really would love to, if it's not too much, Helen, to just know more about what exactly a cell is and what is the value of putting things inside them.
Good question.
You have such a gift, Beige, for reducing it down to the basics. Because now that you've like stripped away the bullshit. Oh my God, your spiritual purity is mind-boggling because the way that you were able to just nail that question, I realized that it's all about just counting shit. It's counting garbage. Oh my God, thank you for putting it in such simple, pure terms.
Helen, you might not know this, but Beige's manifesto really speaks to that spiritual pureness. I can't believe you picked that up.
Well, Beige, you have energy emanating from you. Like, oh, I'm not even sure what to do with that kind of light.
Murky brown.
Mm.
Do you feel that? Is it like a murky brown energy around me?
Hashtag murky brown. Yeah.
It's a pure murky brown, though. It's not a dirty murky. It's a pure murky.
Murky.
No. It's warm. It's compassionate. It's equanimity.
That's what she said.
I really appreciate that.
Wow.
Thank you so much for explaining your passion with me. So many people keep their passions behind closed doors, and I feel appreciative that you allowed me into that with you.
Oh my goodness.
I'm hoping that you can break out of 2 to 3 a.m. You like punch through. Add another hour that you can. I'm just hoping that you can increase your readership to 3 or 4 because you have so much to offer, Beige.
Thank you. And you're right. 2 to 3. It's not my best hour. You should see me 8 to 9 a.m.
No, 8 to 9, that's your time?
That's my
Glowing.
Glow
I'm
hour.
no-
Love to
I'm
see
no
it.
cactus.
Hashtag send me a pic. Yeah.
I'm no cactus. I'm definitely no Dave. But 8 a.m. That's when the
Wow.
words flow. That's when the sunshine shines from Beige.
Wow.
But keep that.
Well, the
Ladies.
energy that is emanating from you right now, it's hard to imagine. Oh, I can't even imagine what that would be like from in your your time, your hour.
Mm.
So
Mm.
can we just encourage you, Beige, to go there? Go there. And
Go
we'll be
there.
there watching.
Maybe
Hashtag go
can't
there
have
if you
8 a.m.
can. You know.
at 2 a.m. because that's my only option. But
Wow.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. Ladies, this has been an emotional roller coaster of a We're Not Really Strangers.
Marla, one really quickly, if you have a
Of
if you have a
course.
link to your workout, I would. Do you do any 2 a.m. classes? Because I would love to join one of your
It's like
classes.
you're in my mind, Beige. Yes. I don't sleep at that time. I know that there's calories to be burned. I'll send you a link. HTTP. I'm going to get it to you. Let's work out together.
Great. That
Hashtag
sounds
yes.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to grab that really quickly before my internet crashes. So
Of course.
Hashtag Wi-Fi insecure. I get it. It's not okay.
Oh my God. Sisters of the Light. Oh,
Yes.
Sisters of the Light. Yeah.
Okay, ladies, this is, we're not strangers. I know
No.
all of you to the core, and I think for our audience, I want each of us to finish this sentence.
When that-
Strangers would describe me as blank. Only I know that I am blank. And I'll kick us off. Strangers would describe me as odd. Only I know that I am a pod.
Strangers would describe me as closed in and uptight. But only I know that I am seeking light.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, Helen.
Strangers believe that I'm brainwashed, but only I know that I just lack sleep.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, strangers would describe me as a mister. Okay, but I know I'm a scissor sister.
Beautiful. Thank you all so much, everybody. This has been We're Not Really Strangers. Enjoy the rest of your evening, America. Thank you for tuning in.